Oh, not good. Not good. Roll the intro. Can you guys see that on the screen? That is a rat's head. That's also a creepy face. It's like the girl, the main actor, like someone took a frying pan, cocked it back, and just absolutely gave her one. Just gave her one in the face, right in the nose. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of Red Shirt Movie Reviews, where I review a movie while wearing a red shirt. So this week's movie is Hereditary. Now this came out, it's been out for a while, I think maybe a year or two actually. So it's not new per se, and a lot of you might have already seen it. I just decided to watch it. I don't watch horror movies all the time, but lately I've been in this super horror movie mood, I guess you could say. So all I want to do is watch movies. I want to get scared, right? But this one is just weird, man. Like, we'll get into that. But before we get there, if this is your first time here, my name is Easton Bennett. This is the Red Shirt Movie Reviews, where I review a movie that I watch, and we break it down into 5 categories: story, acting, cinematography, emotion, and a final score, final remarks, if I'd watch it again, and just kind of my final thoughts. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to see more of these, hit subscribe so you can continue to see these. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for tuning in for maybe the 4th week in a row, or maybe it's your 2nd week in a row. Either way, I appreciate you. So let's get into the movie review before you guys click out of the video and don't even see any of it. So, talking about the movie Hereditary, category number 1 is the story. So now, the story usually is very defined, and you can tell what the plot is and what the motives are. This movie, I don't even know. Like, I understand the story. The story is there's a mom and a daughter, and the grandma up here dies. So the grandma dies, and that's how the movie starts. And apparently the kid must have been pretty attached to the grandma, or pretty close to her. The grandma dies, and it gets super weird. And the kid, the main character of the movie, I guess there's 2 of them, the mom and the kid are the main characters, but the kid is like a super weird child. Like, it looks like she's got some deformities, and nothing against people with disabilities or anything, but it looks like she just looks, there's something off about her, right? And she doesn't talk very much. She acts weird, and the grandma dies and stuff starts getting weird. And then the kid, I don't know if she was seeing the grandma at night or something, like a ghost. And then there's a big twist in the middle of the movie that you don't see coming. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because that's not what is intended here on these shows, but that's how it kind of plays out. It all revolves around the grandma, and then the end is, I can't say much about the story because if I say one thing, it might ruin the whole thing for you. So you kind of got to watch it yourself, but it's kind of, it's a horror film, and it's kind of about some demons and gods and stuff like that. And there's some ghosts and coming back from the dead and stuff. So it's kind of all over the map. The story wasn't great, but there was some weird stuff that happened. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. If I had to pick one word for the story, I'd just say weird. Like, even after the movie was finished, I didn't fully understand what the hell I just watched, but maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. Category number 2, acting. I thought the acting was the best category out of the 4. The best one that we break down, they did the best in acting for sure. Now the acting, the characters, the mom and the daughter being the weird one and didn't talk very much, and the mom being kind of goofy herself, they fit their characters to a T, like perfectly. The kid, that's exactly what they were going for. They wanted the kid to be weird and morbid a little bit and kind of off, and she played it very, very well. It was stupid good. Like, it resembled the character I was thinking in my head so well. The mom, also very good. In the movie, the mom and the daughter kind of look like super similar. So I don't know if they're actually related, but they look like blood related. And that also added to the story, and the mom played her role super well. Let's just say the acting was very, very good, but if the story was better, the acting could have been so much more powerful. Oh, God. Oh, I just can't get over that girl, that little girl. Creepy, weird. So for the acting, they hit the nail on the head. Let's move on to category 3, and that is cinematography and production. This one, horror movies, you know, cinematography is kind of important because you have to film it correctly to get that proper scare, right? And I thought they did a good job. Horror movies, you don't need all those dynamic shots and crazy whip pans and stuff. It's more about when to cut. So I'd say horror movies are more about post-production than they are actual production, because when to cut, the types of music to use to get those scares, what's in your frame. It's not all about crazy whip pans and moving down from stairs and crazy oneers. I'd say the cinematography was good. It was average, but the post-production was phenomenal. The coloring, whoever the colorist was on this, give me some next. You, my man, are a great colorist, right? You know, horror movies are supposed to be cool and dark and moody and kind of have that vibe that's like creepy. Whoever colored the movie did a phenomenal job. That's exactly how it looked. It was super desaturated and grimy and cold and felt lifeless almost, right? And I think that was a lot to do with the color. So I'd say cinematography, average. Post-production, phenomenal for my film production background, I guess you could say. I'm not an expert in it, but to the naked eye, it looked great. Let's move on to category number 4, emotion. Now, it's a horror movie, so it's supposed to scare you. The horror movies that I like have jump scares and that thing where it kind of makes you go like this, you know? Like, not the electric chair, but, you know, it gives you some jump. This one didn't give me that. This was almost like not a horror because it was so slow, you know what I mean? It wasn't scary, it was just like the whole movie I felt weird. Like, I just sat there like this with my hands crossed and I was like, something's wrong with that girl. She's cutting the heads off of rats and birds and she's morbid and it was weird. So I don't think they really made it as much of a horror film as they could have. Like, it could have been scary. It could have been very scary, and there was a lot of potential with this movie, but I think something went wrong somewhere, right? Something's off. Something didn't go right. Maybe it was a director. Maybe it was the story as a whole was just missing a few pieces, but the emotion, it didn't really pull me in as much as I wanted it to. There were a couple times when I was like, "Ugh, that's a little creepy and that's a little weird," but not as much as I'd like to. It didn't pull me into the story as much as I would have wanted. Didn't really pull any emotion out of me either. So category number 5, score, and my final remarks, overall as a whole movie, like, it wasn't great. You know what I mean? It had so much potential, and some things were executed very well. Like, cinematography was good. The post-production was very good. I think whoever wrote the story maybe isn't the greatest writer. Sorry if you're watching this, Mr. Writer Man. The acting was super good. I was happy about that, but like, everything else just felt weird to me. There was so much potential and just butchered. So, final score, final remarks. If I had to give it a final score, I'd probably say it's below 5 for sure. I'd say it's a 4.38. Let's go 4.38. Not great, right? Below average movie. If average is 5, I'd say 4.38 is definitely fair. I think they missed so much, right? It had potential. The acting was great. The characters are great, but the story wasn't there. And they always say in movies and in production, and whether that be commercials or movies or Instagram stories or YouTube videos, it's all about the story. It doesn't matter how many widgets and gadgets and everything you got, a microphone, a light, it's all about the story, right? So I would much rather have the story been perfect and the cinematography a little off and the emotion a little off, but the story is what matters, and they just missed that whole thing. So 4.38 out of 10. Not the best movie I've ever seen. This is the first bad review, I guess, we've had on Red Shirt Movie Reviews, and it's kind of exciting. I like to see some bad movies sometimes because it makes you appreciate the good ones. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 4 of Red Shirt Movie Reviews, where I review a movie while wearing a red shirt. That's a wink. You guys like my wink? Yeah, me too. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more of these videos and more videos of my face beautifully lit from this side light, then please hit subscribe. I would love it for you to watch these videos. And if you have anything to say about this video or this review, or maybe you have a suggestion for me to review next week, please leave a comment down below. Leave the time code of maybe your favorite part of the show or your least favorite part of the show, right? So please do that. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I will see you next week. I will see you next week, you creepy in your rat head. This right here, the red on the walls, that's for blood, death, horror. This poor rat got its head cut off. Rats' heads, dead rats. This mutant girl. I could just like hit stop. I could hit stop on the camera and then not waste my hard drive space, you know. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I don't. Enchanté.